Today we're reacting to way too early trade deadline predictions for the 2026 MLB season. Article is on ESPN, a link in the description if you want to check it out for yourself, written by David Schoenfeld. It's a pretty cool article. We're going to go through, give you my thoughts and opinions. We're obviously going to make a video like this on the channel soon, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of that content. Big shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. You'll hear a little bit more from them in a minute. Let's get going into this. David Schoenfeld, go in alphabetical order, starting off with the Athletics and picking the most likely trade candidate to be Luis Severino, and their most likely need being the bullpen. And yeah, I totally believe it. I think if this Athletics team's not really competing, Luis Severino is probably the guy that's most enticing in the Athletics rotation right now, that you just take him out of Sacramento, you take him out of one of the worst ballparks in all of baseball to pitch in, probably a pretty good starter down the stretch for some teams that are going to be competing. Severino still throws hard. The stuff is still looking good. It's just right now, him and that ballpark don't really mesh too well. I do think putting him in a winning environment will help, and I agree. He is a very, very likely trade candidate from this team. And bullpen-wise, the A's bullpen's an absolute mess. I just don't think Joe Kunal can be the guy down the stretch to be their closer. There's not a real dominant arm out there right now in terms of stuff, in terms of command. They're a little bit all over the place, but Severino and bullpen, that makes sense for the A's. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, most likely trade candidate, Yolbert Diaz. Interesting. That's not a name I expected to see as the most likely trade candidate. Most likely need bullpen. Yep, that makes sense. I mean, their rotation, when guys come back from injury, like Corbin Burns, should be better. Should be better than what it is. It's still not very good right now, but the rotation obviously will get better when injuries kind of stop happening for them. The bullpen is an absolute mess. I know it's been okay so far. It hasn't been good. They're going to get guys back from injury too, maybe Justin Martinez, hopefully a little bit later in the year, AJ Pucker guys that they hope come back soon. But if they do want any chance of being good, being a playoff team, competing for one of those wild card spots, the Diamondbacks just need to kind of hold their ground and wait until the injuries kind of even out for them and they get better as a roster, because it's a little bit of an incomplete team right now. Yolbert Diaz, though, isn't he like a prospect that throws pretty hard? I mean, looking at his numbers so far this year, he's been great in AAA out of relief. Maybe he's just one of the bullpen arms that you use instead of trying to trade him away. I'm trying to think if there's any other better trade candidate. I mean, at some point, you got to be done with Alek Thomas. He's not very good. Is there anybody else that could eventually get moved from this team that's jumping off to me? I don't think so. It's a very strangely built team. Maybe you move Zach Gallen. I'm surprised that's actually not one of the more likely trade candidates in case they do fall out of it. Similar to how the A's, it's Luis Severino. If the Diamondbacks are out of it, they should be moving on from Zach Gallen this year at the deadline for sure. But first, I want to give a quick shout to today's sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks app. Use our code HMA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So click the link in the description right now, download PrizePicks, and use our code HMA to get it on this offer. Not to mention, PrizePicks is so easy to use. Simply pick more or less on a few different players, lock them into your lineup, and then see how your lineup does. For my picks today, I went with Cam Schlittler, more strikeouts against the Red Sox. That lineup's been terrible. He looks great. I went with more hits, runs, RBIs for Juan Soto because I'm a Mets fan, love Juan Soto. And I weirdly went less pitching outs on Jacob deGrom. He just hasn't been going deep into games. Would love to get some right. I'm ice cold. What's also great is that PrizePicks is available in most states, including Florida, California, Texas, and even New York. So click the link in the description, download PrizePicks, and remember to use our code HMA for $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Remember, only play if you can play responsibly and have the means to do so. Thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back into it. The Atlanta Braves, most likely trade candidate Owen Murphy. Okay, so we are doing some prospects in this. Likely need right-handed hitting outfielder. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, this article was written a few days ago. I still think they need a little more pitching. I know Bryce Elder's been great, and the production so far from their rotation has been phenomenal. But again, they are one Chris Sale injury away from that rotation being in complete and utter free fall. And that's not fair to say. You could do that for any team with any of their ace pitchers, and you would say they're going to get worse. Like, that's a low IQ take from me. But it's Chris Sale who's old, who has an injury history. That's what I'd be concerned about if I'm the Braves. Spencer Strider's looked horrible prior to getting hurt. We'll see what he is when he comes back. I think maybe rotation and even bullpen to some degree, especially now with the Raisel Iglesias injury, I think are things that will definitely need to be addressed. Right-handed hitting outfielder, I don't think is as big of a deal, especially because Acuna's going to heat up at some point. Michael Harris, I know, is a lefty. Mike Yastrzemski, I know, is a lefty, but they're both pretty good, and Harris has been playing well thus far. Yastrzemski will warm up and be a league average guy. Sure, you could use more right-handed power, but I don't know. Right now, it seems like they're kind kind of fine. For the Baltimore Orioles, trade candidate Trey Gibson. Are we just picking prospects? Most likely to trade candidate Trey Gibson. Likely need healthy players. Trey Gibson's a guy who I think they might want to consider putting into the rotation. I don't know if you would trade him right now, like a major league ready pitcher at the AAA level for a team that has some guys right now that are not cutting it in the rotation. Trey Gibson probably wouldn't be my number one pick to be moved. I would think that they're more likely to move a Kobe Mayo. Maybe one of their prospect outfielders right now. That's a little bit crowded out there. Even Tyler O'Neill, if anybody would ever take him in that contract. Orioles are in a weird spot right now where I'm not quite sure what's going on, if they're good, if they're okay, if they're a 500 team. It's a team that I can't get a read on because they've been so hot and cold to start the season early. But yes, they will likely need healthy players because all around the field, they just have so many injuries. Holiday out for a while. Jordan Westberg out on the pitching side. Zach Eflin out. You're seeing guys go down left and right. If all goes wrong, ooh, I didn't see this. Trevor Rogers. Yeah, I think that would make sense. If things do go wrong, you might as well try and move on from him. Go get something for him. Boston Red Sox. Jarren Duran makes a ton of sense. Likely need infield help. Yes, Marcelo Meyer has looked horrible. Caleb Durbin has looked horrible. Trevor Story, not looking good. They have three positions right now in the infield that are complete and utter black holes offensively and defensively. They're not particularly strong enough to make up for the lack of offense. Jarren Duran's also not looked good, which has made trading him a little bit harder in what is a very crowded outfield with Roman Anthony, who's still looking good on all the underlying stuff. Ceddanne Rafaela plays great defense, hitting well, and Willie Abreu's absolutely mashing. He's phenomenal. I don't really know where Jarren Duran fits on this team, but now you might be trading him at a lower value than what you could have the past couple seasons. Duran probably finds his way to the Padres at some point because it seems like that's just destiny waiting to happen, but it is getting a little bit weird. And again, they have some pitching injuries right now. Garrett Crochet hasn't looked great. We have to monitor him. Sonny Gray going down. It's definitely going to hurt this team, but luckily they have so much starting pitching depth that it's definitely not one of the most likely needs. Infield help for sure. Chicago Cubs, most likely trade candidate Jefferson Rojas, most likely need pitching. That's surprising to me that they go Jefferson Rojas just because he's in AA. He looks really good. There's kind of no need to rush him up right now, especially with Dansby Swanson still doing Dansby Swanson stuff and Nico Horner being great at second base. Maybe they just see that it's clogged for him, so how do you actually get him at the major league level? There's also a lot of other positions that are clogged for the Cubs right now, but I guess, yeah, for a team that's looking to win right now, Jefferson Rojas is that guy, and yes, they do need pitching, especially with Cade Horton being out and Jimson Tyon looking horrible and some of the guys in that rotation being a little bit shaky. The Cubs need another guy to join Edward Cabrera in this rotation to really push them forward. I'm sure they're hoping Justin Steele comes back healthy, but that's asking a lot for a guy coming back from a major surgery and injury. Chicago White Sox, trade candidate Eric Fetty, because he's going to be a free agent. Most likely need prospects. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty plain and simple. The White Sox are much better than they have been in prior years. Munetaka Murakami's phenomenal. He's great to watch. Colson Montgomery's a good baseball player. Kyle Teal, when he comes back, is really good. So there are more major league players on this roster than there have been previously. I like Noah Schultz on the pitching side. I love Grant Taylor out of the bullpen, but this is still a team that's so far away. So they should be looking to trade basically anybody that's not the guys that I just mentioned and see if they can get some more prospects back to help with this rebuild, because reinforcements are coming. It's just they're not ready yet. Murakami's another guy too. Keep an eye out if they consider trading him. He might have such high value that you have to consider moving him, even though he's on a phenomenal contract. For the Cincinnati Reds, trade candidate Noel V. Marte. I mean, who in the world is taking Noel V. Marte right now? He's playing so bad and likely need outfield/DH bat. DH, I don't think they need, because you probably need a third baseman more than DH, because you don't want to run Eugenio Suarez out on third base. And Key Brian Hayes is literally worthless right now. He is such a bad hitter at this point at the major leagues that I don't think you can keep playing him every single day. They probably need to get someone who can actually play third base and hit well enough, because Eugenio is going to be kind of tough at third, and I think it's probably easier to find. I mean, I guess they're thinking it's easier to find a DH bat than it is a third baseman, which maybe that's not crazy. Noel V. Marte has been so bad, I don't know if anybody would ever trade for him, and the outfield has been pitiful for the Reds, where I think they'll take anybody that's got a pulse right now. Like TJ Frieda looks horrible. Will Benson, shocker, not very good. Spencer Steer, shocker, not very good. This Reds team's so bizarre. They're getting hero ball out of Ellie and Sal Stewart, but otherwise, this offense is a complete mess. Cleveland Guardians, most likely trade candidate Jason Chorio, likely need offense. Early on, the Guardians' offense looked pretty good. I still don't trust it by any means, so yes, I do agree that they would love to bring in more bats. I don't think it's sustainable the way that they're playing offensively. Maybe moving a guy like Jason Chorio is how you go and get a bat, because they could so easily go out and improve this offense. And with how good enough their starting pitching is, with how awesome their bullpen is, and with how good their defense is, this team can make a run. I don't think the Guardians are good still. We know I'm a Guardians hater. They're playing really good baseball. It's devil magic. magic. Stephen Vogt, phenomenal manager. They don't make any noise in the postseason ever, but like, man, what a couple more players to this team could do. That's when I'd really start to believe in the Guardians, is if they do make a push and go for it, which I think they should. They're close enough. Put guys around J-Ram, please. Colorado Rockies, most likely trade candidate Michael Lorenzen, likely need prospects. I mean, it's so simple. Him, Quintana, Tomoyuki Sugano, those are all guys that I think will be on the move if anybody wants them for any sort of value. They'll take probably your best washing machine at this point. Paul DePodesta's done a better job with this team. Like, I love what I'm seeing out of Chase Dolander so far, and some of the offensive acquisitions have been interesting. I don't know if they're any good, but they've been interesting. There's definitely a world where they can move on from these pitchers because they don't work in Coors, but could be valuable to a team down the stretch is just depth, and you get prospects back for them. You got to be happy as the Rockies front office. Detroit Tigers, most likely trade candidate Max Anderson, likely need to be determined. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. The Tigers really don't have any glaring holes. Riley Green's going to heat up. Spencer Torkelson's going to heat up. I think that this offense is good. I think this lineup is good. I think the pitching is good. Maybe another starting pitcher. Maybe that's where I'd go, because Jack Flaherty is horrible and Casey Mize is just a little unreliable right now. Don't have a full five that you can trust, especially when you're trying to go to the postseason. Bullpen's good enough for me. Obviously, you can always get more bullpen arms. Never going to complain there. But Max Anderson is a guy who's kind of blocked right now, so maybe you move him to go get another starter or another bullpen arm, guy who's done well in AAA. Tigers, that's my World Series pick. We know it. I hope they continue to play good baseball like they have so far. Houston Astros, trade candidate Brian Abreu, likely need pitching. I mean, the Astros are a catastrophe. Them and the New York Mets are just bad right now. Astros are absolutely mashing, which is good, and I honestly think that they're more likely trade candidate could be one of those guys that's kind of taking up the same spot, like Isak Perez / Christian Walker. I don't think Brian Abreu is that guy, especially because he cannot close games. He goes into the closer role and he completely falls apart. They need pitching, though. This rotation is a complete mess. This bullpen is a complete mess. Who knows if Josh Hader pitches again this year? Who knows if Hunter Brown does? There's a lot of problems in Houston. I don't even think that they're going to be remotely buying, because I think this team might just be out of it by then. It's kind of sad to see the Astros dynasty fall, but also at the same time, they had a good run and they cheated during it, so I don't actually feel bad. Kansas City Royals, most likely trade candidate Chris Bubich, likely need check back in 3 months. I hate this cop-out. The Royals need bats. The Royals needs bats so badly. This offense is piss poor. It's an unplayable team almost every single day. Besides Bobby Witt Jr. and Maikel Garcia, there's not consistent offense right now. Carter Jensen, too. We love Carter Jensen. But Salvi's looking old. Vinny Pasquantino's looking really bad. Jack Cagg's looking very inconsistent. And the rest of the team, like, are we really going to talk about Jonathan India? No, it's not real. Starling Marte and Lane Thomas play on this roster. Like, what are we doing, Kansas City? If it means trading Chris Bubich, who is a free agent at the end of the year, to maybe go get a bat, it could be a good move. But right now, the Royals are not a team that should be looking to buy. They are just trying to play better baseball at this point. Angels, most likely trade candidate Jorge Soler. I agree. I think that's a good one to say. Likely need prospects. Yeah, I mean, you just want to keep beefing up this farm system right now for a team that is better than we thought, is doing a lot of good stuff on the pitching development side right now. What they've done with Jose Soriano and Reed Detmers, A+ to Mike Maddox. That's phenomenal. That's more development that we've seen out of the Angels in a month than we've seen out of them the last 10 years, it feels like. I know I'm an Angels hater, but I'll give them their flowers when it's due, and they're doing a good job right now. But you probably should move on from Jorge Soler if you can. The contract's a little insane for a guy who's truthfully just a DH, and for an Angels team that is not going to be dangerous this year in terms of a playoff run if they were even to get to the playoffs. You should probably cash in on Soler and boost up those prospects even more. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, yeah, I mean, like, let Ryan Ward free. I think he has like 100 home runs in AAA over the last 3 years. He's absolutely mashing. Likely need a high-grade trophy cleanser and a waffle weave microfiber towel. Yeah, I mean, they're so good, the Dodgers. They'll go out and get bullpen now. I think that's probably going to be it, with Edwin Diaz likely missing at least half of the season. Ryan Ward's redundant, especially because Dalton Rushing is just so good. He could just play first base if they ever need him to. Max Muncy could play first base. They have so much flexibility on this team. This roster's incredible. The Dodgers are so good. We don't even need to talk about them anymore. Miami Marlins, most likely trade candidate Sandy Alcantara, likely need young players. Yep, the Marlins are doing the Rays thing where you go get these kind of AAA to major league in-betweeners, what we call 4A guys, get them to the major league level, develop them, sharpen those tools, and then you have good players. Like Otto Lopez was kind of a tweener for a while. Kyle Stowers was a tweener. Owen Casey had been a tweener. The Marlins have done some really good player development at the major league level, and if they're out of it, trading Sandy could get them an absolute haul back in what's a farm system that still is probably in the bottom half, getting better as Peter Bendix has gotten his hands on them, but they still need some improvement for sure and could use more depth, especially on the hitting side. Milwaukee Brewers, most likely trade candidate Andrew Fisher, likely need third base and shortstop. See, this is where I'm confused, is that you could just maybe get Andrew Fisher to third base at some point, or you get Jet Williams, or you get Cooper Pratt. They have a lot of guys, like Jesus Mate is not ready yet, but maybe you give him a look. I don't know, at some point. I don't know if Andrew Fisher is the guy that you move on from. Like, the Brewers tend to not trade young, controllable players, especially a guy like Andrew Fisher, who's got just some of the best power potential right now in the minors. Dude takes war hacks. You saw him for Team Italy, looked great. I know they have a lot of great prospects. Their farm system's absolutely loaded, so they don't need to hug guys, but maybe you move on from like a Jet Williams or a Luis Pena right now to go get what I think would be more valuable to them is a big bopper. Go get a bopper somewhere. I don't know who would the shortstop be. Maybe do you try for like CJ Abrams, but he plays such poor defense, and the Brewers want good defense, which is why they're okay with Jory Ortiz. Brewers are a team to watch what they do at the deadline. It's always interesting, something that we monitor. I don't think Andrew Fisher would be the guy that they move on from, though. Third base and shortstop, though, definitely likely upgrades for sure. Minnesota Twins, most likely trade candidate Joe Ryan, and they need prospects. I mean, this is obvious. Twins are playing good baseball right now. They're beating my Mets, which, I mean, anybody could. I think a high school baseball team could beat the Mets right now, but the Twins are winning more games than we expected early on in the season. That being said, are they going to be hanging around the entire year? I still am not a believer in that team right now, and moving on from Joe Ryan would be a smart move. The Twins farm system has a lot of guys at the top right now. It's a good farm system overall. Go get more. You could get some real top prospects to bring in here, be a part of that future build in Minnesota. This is an organization that historically doesn't spend massive amounts of money. They will spend, but not massive amounts. Cash in on Joe Ryan, get these young controllable players, make them a part of the future there in Minnesota, because there are a lot of question marks on the offensive side as to who should be sticking around and who shouldn't. I think Joe Ryan doesn't make it to the end of the year there. For my New York Mets trade candidate, Jonah Tong, most likely need blood, oxygen. Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute mess right now in Queens. You guys know that I am one of the biggest Mets fans and most biased Mets fans there are, and I can't even sugarcoat this thing and make myself feel like it's good. They've been absolutely horrible. They've lost 12 straight games at the time of recording. I'm hoping by the time this comes out, they will have won. Juan Soto will be back. Maybe he helps. He should. I don't even think they want to trade Jonah Tong right now because they've got a couple starting pitchers that are unplayable. David Peterson looks horrible out of the rotation. Kodai Senga's next, and Sean Manaea has been throwing 89 miles an hour. Mets are in trouble with the rotation, so I don't know if moving on from Tong is the guy. They might look to trade one of the offensive guys before him, but like, this team's such a mess right now that I can't even get myself to thinking that the Mets could even be buyers at the deadline because they're playing so poorly. If it all goes wrong, yeah, they probably could consider trading Freddie Peralta and or Clay Holmes, who are both on extremely friendly contracts, who have been great pitchers, some of the best in this rotation, probably could get a lot, but like, I don't see the Mets doing that right now. Even as bad as it's got, I don't see them being sellers, but I don't know if they're buyers either, which is gotta be the worst place in the world to be. So disappointed in this team. New York Yankees, likely trade candidate Ben Hess, likely need bullpen. Yeah, I see third base and shortstop. I think if they can upgrade there, seems to be the spots where they're going to go. Like, Ryan McMahon has looked horrible, and Anthony Volpe, I don't know, are we going to see what he got again? If he hits ninth and plays good defense, it's probably not bad in this loaded Yankees lineup. Ben Hess, unfortunately, you're just like the fifth best pitching prospect in a team that has a ton of starting pitching right now, so it does make the most sense to move on from him, who is very good, by the way. I like Ben Hess as a pitching prospect. Maybe you trade him to a team that wants to move on from a third baseman. Maybe you trade him from a team that wants to move on from a second baseman, and you move Jazz Chisholm back to third. I don't know what the plan is here necessarily, but the Yankees are, the second best team probably in baseball right now? Trade Ben Hess, you could get a lot back and make that team even better. The Yankees are great. Philadelphia Phillies. Alec Boehm, yep. I mean, there just seems like no shot that he stays on this Phillies team the rest of the year. He's playing horribly. I feel bad for him. He's got that weird stuff going on where he's suing his family, fired Scott Boras. A lot of stuff off the field is not helping what is piss poor on the field, to say it nicely. They might just DFA him at some point. He's playing that poorly. They could use more bench and bullpen help, definitely. I think even rotation guys that they're probably going to look at too right now. Painter's been okay, but not good enough where if this team wants to make a playoff run, you can rely on him. He's also come back from a major injury, so like, give him time. I think Andrew Painter is still going to be a frontline starter in the majors, but I do think it's over for Boehm. Aiden Miller's going to eventually take that spot. Aiden Miller might be better than him right now, honestly. Better glove, might be a better hitter. I think it's just over for Boehm in Philly. It's probably not fair to keep him going there too. He needs a change of scenery. I just don't think it's going to be a trade. I think he's going to get cut. Like, I don't know, the White Sox and the Rockies, I guess, would be the only teams I would consider trading for him, and then what are you giving up? Like, nothing? Probably want the Phillies to even pay his contract this year. Pittsburgh Pirates, most likely trade candidate Hunter Barco, likely need to be determined. That's fair. They probably need someone to hit a little bit better than what Marcell Ozuna is doing. Also, he's a criminal and should be in jail. Bad guy. So that alone, you should take him off the team. But if he's going to stay on this team, you probably could upgrade, especially because it seems like Father Time has caught up with him. Hunter Barco, good starting pitching depth, but relatively speaking, the Pirates have so much that if there was ever a position to move on from, it's probably him. They could upgrade the bullpen. I don't know if you would trade a starting pitcher to upgrade your bullpen like that, a young, controllable one, but this Pirates team's good. This Pirates team's good. I'm feeling good about my Pirates. I predict them since the postseason, and it's looking pretty good. Pirates are playing good baseball. Hope they keep going for it because the city of Pittsburgh deserves it. Paul Skeens, Connor Griffin, love these guys. San Diego Padres, most likely trade candidate Adrian Morejon, likely needs starting pitcher / hitter. Yeah, Padres are off to a great start, but I do think they're going to regress at some point, while also getting positive regression from Tatis, Merrill, Machado, who have been horrible. Like, they're still winning games without those guys playing well, but their rotation is a little bit iffy and scary. Their bullpen's phenomenal. They don't need any bullpen help. Go out and get a legit starting pitching arm. Go out and get some hitting help, but also, I don't know what the Padres can trade unless it's Adrian Morejon to go get pitching or hitting because they have no farm system whatsoever. It's probably the weakest in all of baseball. If not, it's towards the bottom because AJ Preller's traded anybody who's a prospect. They just signed Lucas Giolito, which is funny because they kind of joked about it in this article, or maybe he just signs Lucas Giolito. He's trying anybody. We don't know when Nick Pavetta's coming back. We don't know when Joe Musgrove's coming back. That's the concerning thing for the Padres over the length of the season, is what does this team look like over 162? San Francisco Giants, what a mess. Most likely trade candidate, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray, I think, would be a great pickup for someone at the deadline, and the Giants definitely should trade him. This Giants team stinks. Again, I know they have a better record than the Mets, but I will say this, and people won't listen. Two things can exist. The Mets can stink, and so can other teams. And the Giants definitely stink. Tony Vitello feels completely just not ready to coach a Major League Baseball team. He had that really cringy tweet the other day that he ended up deleting, kind of asking Giants fans to believe and fight with him, which was so weird and so tone-deaf, I feel like. They definitely need more prospects. It's a very weak farm system. It does feel like they're probably just going to tear it down at the deadline if it continues. And, like, what in the world were they doing signing Luis Ariz? Why did they make a move for him on a team that defensively is so weak already? Why would you do that? I don't get it. And when I say so weak defensively, it's Matt Chapman, it's Willy Adames, it's Harrison Bader, everywhere, and Patrick Bailey behind the plate. Sorry, Patrick Bailey, who hits like a child. It's just, this is a mess of a team. Buster Posey has put together a horrendous roster. Seattle Mariners, trade candidate Dominic Canzone. Yeah, with Luke Raley playing as well as he is, Dominic Canzone feels a little redundant on this roster right now, even though I like him. He's not hitting particularly well, though. Maybe give him a chance to play a little more consistently and it goes better. What they need, a right-handed outfield bat, and I agree. I definitely agree on that. Although, they have Randy, they have Julio. I guess they just want a platoon guy to Luke Raley. That's not going to be Victor Robles. Mariners are good. They're going to be just fine. I'm interested to see what they do at the deadline, who they could be going after. If all goes wrong, Logan Gilbert, it's not going to go wrong for the Mariners. We don't even need to have that conversation. There's no shot. St. Louis Cardinals, most likely trade candidate Riley O'Brien, who has been arguably the second best reliever in baseball because Mason Miller's been the best. Here's the thing, is that Riley O'Brien's under control until 2031, doesn't even hit ARB until 2028. So, there's kind of no reason for the Cardinals to trade him right now unless they get a deal that they can't refuse. Insert the Godfather meme right now. I don't know if you can't refuse. I know he is 31, he's a little bit older, he's breaking out, and maybe you just cash in, but you got to get so much for him because he honestly is disgusting. Riley O'Brien's sick, so maybe you hold a team ransom, get a premium prospect, move on from him. Heimblum's got the Cardinals playing good ball over there. Even Ali Marmol, I'll give him some credit. Cardinals are better than I expected, but this team will be looking to sell at the deadline, and yes, just get more prospects. Tampa Bay Rays, most likely trade candidate Nick Martinez, most likely needs center field. The Rays could be trading anybody at any moment that's not named Junior Caminero or probably Chandler Simpson right now, or even on the pitching side, some of those guys. Nick Martinez could be moved, Steven Matz could be moved, Yandy Diaz could be moved. Jonathan Aranda won't be. I think as long as there are guys of value to be moved that the Rays can kind of keep churning through what is the Rays machine, they'll be looking to do so. They're off to a great start, but I by no means believe in this team. They play an ugly brand of baseball right now. They don't look that good. They're just getting wins kind of some way, somehow. I would expect them to move on from anybody who's, again, not one of the franchise cornerstone guys right now. Texas Rangers, trade candidate Jose Corniel. Likely need closer, bat. Sure, Jose Corniel, why not? I think there might be some other guys on this roster that consider consider moving off from, but they also don't really have that much flexibility in this roster right now. And with a weak farm system, it makes it even harder. Like, if they are to go out and get someone for relief, it's going to be like one of those second or even third tier guys, just because, again, the farm system that they have doesn't lean to get you premium players, and you're not trading Sebastian Walcott. You're also not trading Kane Scarborough probably for that. And then in terms of bat, like, you do have some positions where you can improve, but also they're kind of hovering around 500. Just hope you get hot at some point and Corey Seager carries you there. Wyatt Langford's been terrible. He'll heat up too. Rangers in a weird spot. I actually don't really know what they could be doing right now. Who's available, who they need, who they should be trading. Second to last team, Toronto Blue Jays, most likely trade candidate Jake Bloss. See, they need starting pitching help, so I wouldn't move on from Jake Bloss just yet. Likely need pitching. Yeah, see, that's where it's confusing. We'd move on from a pitcher because we need more pitching. I don't know about that one. The rotation is getting scary thin right now with all the injuries. It's unfair. They also had a ton of injuries to the guys at the plate. Alejandro Kirk, George Springer, Aston Barger. Everybody's getting hurt for the Blue Jays. They've got the injury bug. I do think that they're going to be fine, but at some point they are going to need to kind of put the foot on the gas and start winning some games here before they let that lead get too big. This is a good team. We're not hitting the panic button just yet. This team's going to be just fine. But yeah, they need to consider what the plan is going to be come deadline, because they might have some spots to fill due to injuries and just the fact that your team can always get better. If it all goes wrong, Kevin Gausman could be a trade candidate. I think they might even just hold on to him. I think he loves pitching in Toronto. I don't see them moving on from him. Washington Nationals, last team, most likely trade candidate Zach Littell, likely need prospects. I think their most likely trade candidate might be CJ Abrams. They floated the name this offseason. He's playing unbelievably well. I don't think they should, but if the Nationals are committing to this rebuild, you trade CJ Abrams and get even more to help. Again, it kind of feels like taking a step backwards to go forwards in a couple years, so I don't love the idea. Zach Littell stinks, so no one's taking him. He's looked horrible. He's going to get DFA'd possibly on a National team that has no starting pitching. And yes, they just need to get more prospects. It's simple. They're rebuilding. I'd love to know your guys' opinions on these trade candidates down in the comments section below. Who's someone that they left off? Who do you think is going to be traded? Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe to my channel, GiraffeNeckMarc, so you don't miss out on any of the content. We're going to be doing more content on the channel here. We got so much to talk about. That's it for this. Thank you guys for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.